So today, I would like to talk about some potential misunderstandings of not knowing. So I think this problem is from the idea that not knowing is seen as a weak position. So I think the idea comes from a confusion of what not knowing means. So to explain this, I want to look at first two different types of claims. So first we have the claims that are easily verified. So, this is a pen, this is a book. Those are something, you know what a pen is, you know what this is, you can see it, you can see that I can write with it, so you know it's a pen. So when I say clearly defined, now the definitions and the boundaries regarding the claim are clearly defined. So first the definitions. This, pen, okay. Or let's say my teacher says that tomorrow there's a test on Unit 4. Okay, I know test. Unit 4. It's in the textbook. I know textbook. Now also, what are the boundaries? So let's say for that test, the boundaries are Unit 4. It's not Unit 3, it's not Unit 5, it's not a different textbook, it's not maybe even what's in the notebook, it's the textbook. And so we understand the definitions and we understand the boundary. So that's another part of it. It's the agreed upon claims. So I think sports helps explain this. So when two teams play a game, they're agreeing upon the definitions. So what's a penalty, what's a score, and what they can do, the boundary, what's okay to do in that sport. So what's okay in this sport might be a penalty in another sport. But by playing, they're agreeing upon those definitions and boundaries. Now that does not mean that those things are correct or true. I mean, something with there's controversy sometimes with, in football, American football, of what is a catch. And you'll see sometimes, okay, that looks like a catch. But according to the rules, that's not a catch. Okay. Now the teams can't just, one team just decides, okay, we quit. No, they still continue playing. Now, of course, later they can complain and maybe end of the season, they'll change the rules. But they still have to agree upon those rules to play the game. Okay, so that's the first type of claim. The second type of claim is very not clear. So these would be opinions or value judgments. That dish is delicious. That actor is outstanding. Okay, so there is not so here. There's no real clear answer. But even with this, again, if we agree upon it, we can find clear answers. So if I was with a group of friends and we love movies, and so we decided on all this criteria for a good movie or a good actor, well then, yes, we could say clearly this actor is better than this actor. But it's only if we agree upon, again, the boundaries and the definitions. Now, another person might say, I disagree. I don't think that has anything to do with being a good actor. So you have to agree upon that. So this leads to the first misunderstanding, and that's confusing these two. Now, already you can see it is not easy sometimes to see the differences. Or even people have different opinions about it, where I have an opinion where this is very clear, but maybe a person says, no, that's not clear at all. Okay, so that confusion is understandable. But so let's go into a story to help explain this and other misunderstandings. So my friend asked me, so are ghosts real? Okay, and I say, I don't know. Now the reason I say I don't know is because for the information that I have, the evidence that I have, it's not clear. Now this connects to what I said in my last video, levels of belief. And so for this, when I say I don't know, this would be either apples might be red, or I think apples are red, but I'm not making any judgment. So I say, I don't know. Now, this is not a weak position. This is just my true position. This is my experience. I don't know. I've seen evidence on both sides, but nothing that's clear. So it's not a weak position. Okay, I think the second misunderstanding is when there's a image of not knowing as bad. Okay, and we can see that, we can understand that. You want to look educated, not uneducated, and we can see this with, again, the first types of claim. Where it's things you learn, dates, history. Okay, you can understand not knowing that. Again, I really want to talk about the ones that are not clear, more like the value judgments, the opinions. And so let's talk about skeptics. Okay, when I'm talking about skeptics here, I'm not talking about real skeptics. And those are ones that are really open and skeptical of everything. I would include myself with that, questioning everything. Now, the famous skeptics I've seen tend to have a foundation of scientific materialism. Okay, now just because it's called scientific does not mean it's not a belief system. So when they have any claim, it's going to come into conflict, or it can come into conflict with that belief system. So things like ghosts, paranormal activity, ESP. In a scientific materialism worldview, those just are not true. Okay. So a skeptic might say, I don't have a belief in ghosts, or I don't have a belief in ghosts, or I don't believe in ghosts. That is not the same as what I'm saying, where I say, I don't know. When they say, I don't believe in ghosts, okay, what is the percentage there? So if you're 90% sure that ghosts are not real, okay, you can say, I don't know. But, for me, I would say that is, that goes with, again, the last video. I know that apples are red. Okay, so it's a strong claim that you're not going to see ghosts, okay, or that ghosts are not real. Another example along these lines are atheists and agnostics. And I've seen atheists attack people who are agnostic as being, like weak or a fence sitter. It's clearly obvious that there is no God. I even remember hearing some atheist talk about, agnosticism was understandable before Darwin. But after Darwin, evolution showed that there is no need for God. Okay, so being agnostic now is, again, it's a bad position. Or you look bad. You look unintelligent. And so they don't want to look uneducated or stupid. So at best, you don't talk about it, or you say, I don't believe in God. Now, what do you do when you don't know something, but you want to know? Okay, so you investigate. But what happens to scientists that truly want to investigate these kinds of things, like ghosts or ESP? Again, what is their image? They're called pseudoscientists, not real scientists. Their image is attacked, ridiculed. So we see underlying that is this idea of they're taking a weak position. They're taking an uneducated position. So the third misunderstanding is that not knowing could leave a person vulnerable. And so, we could see this as, a skeptic talking about someone being taken advantage by a religious leader, or, a psychic who's asking for all the money. Again, you could understand that. But I want to say, let's continue with the story about my friend and the ghost. Okay. So my friend asked me about, are ghosts real? And I say, I don't know. So then he further says, okay, well, there's a ghost in his backyard, and the ghost is telling him that if I give my friend money, the ghost will grant all our wishes. Okay, so now, what do I think? Now, I said I don't know or about ghosts. So do I also don't know about this claim? I want to go to the fourth misunderstanding, because I think that connects to this. And that's the idea that having one position kind of covers every possible mention of that same topic. So if I say I don't believe ghosts, that's every claim that comes in. I'm going to say I don't know. Okay, that's not true. Okay. So my friend asks, are ghosts real? I don't know. And then my friend asks about, or tells me about the ghost in his backyard. Now, do I believe that? No. Okay, that's a different claim. So now the claim isn't, are ghosts real? The claim is there a ghost in his backyard that wants money? Okay, no, I don't believe that. I have no evidence for that. So not knowing doesn't make me weak or vulnerable. I'm still very capable of taking every claim as it comes and, saying, okay, no, I don't believe that. This reminds me of a story that from a class when I was in university. And I don't remember the exact details, but I think we were talking about Buddhism, Japan, and samurai. And it was talking about how the samurai was saying you don't want to focus your mind on the blade. Instead, you want this kind of open focus. Now, the reason is if you focus on the blade, you're trapped in the blade. But when you're open to the possibility of being attacked from any position. So we see this is not a position of vulnerability. This is a position of strength. And I think that applies to not knowing. So if there are any questions or any comments, just please leave them in the comment section below. And so that's it for today. Thanks.